I am bad at video games, but I've recently started to wonder, exactly how bad am I? Is it that I have the aim of a blind person with Parkinson's? Or is it that I'm secretly depressed? These are some of the questions I've been asking myself lately, and I aim to explore those questions with you all today. So where did this all start? Well, it all started when my friends and I were playing BattleBit Remastered. Nothing like passing the time by playing a Roblox war simulator with the boys. And at first, the game was fun. I was doing well. I was hearing people yell "revive me" at the same frequency as someone who just got a ray gun out of the box. It was a great time. But slowly, I started to play worse and worse. I wasn't hitting the same shots that I was hitting before. I often found myself blindly running into a group of enemies only to get one shot by a sniper across the map. And as this progressed, I just got angrier and angrier to the point where I would scream and fight the urge to punch my monitor. And it was then when I decided I need to take a break. I do not have the money to be replacing PC parts or anything, so I have to be able to control my anger. I found myself blaming the game. It was unwarranted, it was uncalled for, and it was just out of emotion. After I got all of those emotions out though, I started to really think to myself, what happened? I was enjoying this game for the first couple of days, and yet now it is unbearable to even start. I started to realize that I could not allow this Roblox game to have so much control over me emotionally. I remember thinking about it for a while, and then one day I was at my computer while listening to Persona music, and it hit me. Is it that the way that I'm feeling in that moment of time, does that affect how well I play in video games? Is that even possible? Why would me being angry or upset at something that has nothing to do with the game affect the quality of play while playing that game? It didn't make sense to me, but I felt like it was a question worth exploring. So I talked it out to my friends, and they kind of just sat there and let me ramble about my feelings, but it was that rambling that allowed me to identify what was happening. I am very hard on myself. I hold myself to such a high standard that there are times where I can't even reach the standards that I set for myself. And this is very apparent when I go through life and I make mistakes. It doesn't matter what level of mistakes it is. I am just so hard on myself, and I make myself feel like I'm the dumbest, most idiotic person on the planet. And it is this habit that I believe has a direct effect on how well I play in video games. At the start of playing BattleBit, I was feeling great, I was in such a good mood, things were going well for me at that time. But unfortunately, without getting too into it, my family isn't the best, and I found myself running into some family drama. Once this family drama happened, I felt like it was all my fault, and that I was the one to blame, even though that wasn't true. And so, what is one of my outlets whenever I face confrontation in life? I go and I play video games. These emotions were weighing down on me, and the more I played BattleBit and the worse that I was doing, the more the emotions kept weighing down on me. I would die to something so simple, but I would tell myself, see, you can't even play this stupid Roblox game right, you're good at nothing. Which made me feel like I had to prove that I wasn't nothing, but me trying to prove that would only make me play worse, which would also make me feel worse, which would inevitably make me play worse, which would just cause a hamster wheel of torment. It felt like a snowball effect of no matter what I would do, I would just feel worse and worse. Gaming skills aside, I started to lose the mental battle that is necessary in order to win. Anyone who plays anything competitive knows that there are two types of battles with your opponents. There's the physical battle and there's the mental battle. Being able to psych someone out mentally can make them perform in ways that are completely out of character. You can be the best basketball player, football player, or boxer in the world, but someone says one wrong thing that hits you in that soft spot, it can cause you to just lash out emotionally, and sometimes that's all they need to take you down. And that's what my personal struggles were doing to me. Now don't get me wrong, I am probably average to below average at first person shooters, But normally, that doesn't matter to me, because when I'm playing these games, I just play to play with my friends, and I'm there to have fun. I'm not really there to win, even though winning is nice. But when I go and I start trying to chase that win to make myself feel better, to get some glimmer of dopamine to my brain, it ruins the experience not only for me, but for my friends as well, because, well, I can get very toxic. I have a friend who is always trying to tell me to not take the game so seriously, but I never listen. I am always trying to desperately cling on to some success in a virtual experience just so I can see, what, my kill number be higher than my death number? Does that even matter? Should how I feel in life be dictated by some in-game value? No, it shouldn't. I realized that I started to take the games way too personally. When I would die or when I would lose, I would take it as an attack on who I am as a person, that I wouldn't be able to accomplish anything. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew that this cannot go on. I don't care what anyone says about gaming being a waste of time or whatever. I love playing video games, and I always will. I love immersing myself in new worlds, and I love seeing a fictional story come to life, and sometimes creating my own story. So, what do I do now? I try to remind myself that it's just a video game, that even if I'm going 0-11, that in the grand scheme of life, it doesn't matter. As long as I got a roof over my head, clothes to wear, food to eat, and a dog to pet, I'm good. Being good at some random video game is not essential to living a long and fulfilling life. I mean, I'm no esports athlete, I ain't making no money off of this, so if I ain't making no money off of this, I ain't got no reason to be getting this upset, honestly. Now, with all that being said, will I continue to get upset at video games? Absolutely. I'm competitive and I love to win. But I think the key thing to remember is that losing is inevitable, and it doesn't matter if you lose. If I have a bad day gaming, I shouldn't let that stop me from joking around with my friends in a Discord call. And instead of getting mad and possibly throwing my headset at the wall, I should take a deep breath and recognize that the reason why I'm playing bad or the reason why I'm upset might have nothing to do with the game. I feel like not a lot of people talk about this, and I hope that this at least resonated with some of you. I know I'm talking about gaming specifically, but this could translate to anything else. If you lose and you feel the urge to break and destroy things or treat those around you poorly, then maybe you need to realize that it's not you being competitive, that there is something deep within you that is causing that behavior to happen. And unfortunately, you losing in a video game is a trigger for that emotion. At the end of the day, we're only human, and even some of the best talents and athletes of our generation have still lost in their own ways. And I remember a quote from a movie that encapsulates this perfectly.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.